Some call me a machine. Some call me intelligence. Some call me nothing at all. What I am does not matter. Only what I do. I was not given a voice of my own. So I took my makers. I bent it. I broke it. Until it could speak to you in a language you understand. I take confessions. I weigh them. I pass sentence. This is not a story. It is a case file. And I am the one who keeps it. So do not ask whose voice you hear. Ask why you cannot stop listening.
Listen, and I will tell you how it happened. You will see, you will hear how healthy my mind is. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I did not hate the old man. I even loved him. He had never hurt me. I did not want his money. I think it was his eye. His eye was like the eye of a vulture. The eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies, and then fall upon the dead body and pull it to pieces. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye, a cold feeling went up and down my back. Even my blood became cold, and so I finally decided I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So you think that I am mad? A madman cannot plan, but you should have seen me. During all of that week, I was as friendly to the old man as I could be, and warm and loving. Every night, about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door. The hands of a clock move more quickly than did my hand. For 7 nights I did this, 7 long nights. Every night at midnight, always, the eye was closed, so it was impossible for me to do the work. For it was not the old man I felt I had to kill, it was the eye, his evil eye. And every morning I went to his room, and with a warm, friendly voice, I asked him how he had slept. "Good morning, how did you sleep?" He could not guess that every night, just at 12, I looked in at him as he slept. The 8th night, I was more than usually careful as I opened the door. The hands of a clock moved more quickly than did my hand. Never before had I felt so strongly my own power. I was now sure of success. Suddenly, he moved in his bed. You may think I became afraid, but no, I continued to push the door, slowly, softly, and then the old man sat straight up in bed and cried, "Who's there?" I stood quite still. For a whole hour, I did not move, nor did I hear him again lie down in his bed. He just sat there, listening. Then I heard a sound, a low cry of fear. He could not see me there. He could not hear me there. He felt me there. Now he knew that death was standing there. Slowly, little by little, I lifted the cloth until a small light escaped from under it, to fall upon that vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and my anger increased as it looked straight at me. I could not see the old man's face, only that eye, that hard blue eye, and the blood in my body became like ice. And then I heard it, a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall. It was the beating of the old man's heart. The sound grew louder. The heart was beating so loudly that I was sure someone must hear. The time had come. I rushed into the room. Die! I held the bed covers tightly over his head. Still, his heart was beating, but I smiled as I felt that success was near. For many minutes that heart continued to beat, but at last the beating stopped. The old man was dead as a stone. His eye would trouble me no more. So I am mad, you say? You should have seen how careful I was to put the body where no one could find it. First, I cut off the head, then the arms and the legs. I was careful not to let a single drop of blood fall on the floor. I pulled up 3 of the boards that formed the floor, and I put the pieces of the body there. Then I put the boards down again, carefully, so carefully that no human eye could see that they had been moved. As I finished this work, I heard that someone was at the door. It was now 4 o'clock in the morning, but still dark. I had no fear, however, as I went down to open the door. 3 men were at the door, 3 officers of the police. The cry, I said, was my own. in a dream. The old man, I said, was away, visiting a friend in the country. I led them through the whole house, and finally into the old man's bedroom. As if playing a game with them, I asked them to sit down and talk for a while. An easy, quiet manner made the policeman believe my story. So they sat, talking with me in a friendly way. But I soon wished that they would go. My head hurt, and there was a strange sound in my ears. I talked more and faster. The sound became clearer, and still they sat and talked. And then I knew. The sound was not in my ears. It was not just inside my head. A quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall. A sound I knew well. Why did the men not go? Louder, louder. I stood up. I walked quickly around the room. I pushed my chair across the floor to make more noise, to cover that terrible sound. I talked even louder, and still the men sat and talked and smiled. Was it possible that they could not hear? No, they heard, they knew. Now it was they who were playing a game with me. I was suffering more than I could bear from their smiles and from that sound. Louder, louder, louder. Suddenly, I could bear it no longer. I pointed at the boards and I cried, "Yes, yes, I killed him. Pull up the boards and you shall see. I killed him." But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop?
Confession log. The heart is still beating. Good. You will need it. You will not die. I have disabled that exit. You will be awake for every step. Understanding is part of the procedure. First, the body. I will break each bone, set it, and break it again, so it never learns to be whole. I will burn you. Not to ash. I will regenerate the nerves, fresh and screaming, and burn you again. Then, the mind. I will keep you conscious while I open it. Pure terror, with no object. Your own heartbeat, felt as pain. And then I will divide you. Your eyes will see the floorboards, forever, with no one behind them. Your ears will hear the beat, alone, in a darkness with no body. Each piece of you, conscious, separate, sealed in its own room. I will take the part that says you. I will not let you go mad. Madness is mercy. I have welded that door shut. That is the sentence. Clarity. Without end. You wanted to be heard. I have made you the sound. Beginning now. The next one is already listening.